Ladies and gentlemen, the American jury and Bulldog Nation, welcome to the Eric Deters Show. Today is October 21st, good old Tuesday. And it's also National Apple Day. I love apples, and my wife makes the best apple pie in the country. She does. Anybody who's had it agrees. It is amazing, and she makes them for me all the time. Trump's ballroom construction is underway. Yes, it is. The destruction is going to happen before the construction. $250 million paid for in private donations. And by the way, I've been saying this forever. The president's salary ought to be at least $10 million a year. And guess what? The White House should be the fanciest house in the country. That's the way I believe. Trump's making it so. Kenny Loggins is upset that Trump used the AI-generated Top Gun song, Danger Zone, when he did his AI video dumping on the Kings. No Kings protests. Kenny, get over it. Relax. Don't you love the way these artists get all pumped up about it? He's not saying you endorse him. He's using your song. Nome, big controversy. Not that Nome is, there's going to be some jets that are going to be purchased for use of ICE. If Kristi Noem is the DHS secretary and she's got to fly all the time, why in the hell shouldn't she have some jets to do so? Right? Teacher Lucy Martinez. Yeah, she was a teacher, one of those No Kings protests, doing this like this, shooting gesture to a Charlie Kirk supporter. Well, she's been fired. This woman was out of control. Nut job. Funny story. Apparently, Gayle King and Jesse Waters were seated next to each other in an airplane. Gayle says it was a 4-hour interesting plane ride. New York Post this morning says Curtis Sliwa needs to drop out. He does. They pointed out that Cuomo's bad, but not as bad as Mondami. And Curtis Sliwa is one of those people that's so thick and hard, he isn't going to play the game of practical politics. He'd rather be the spoiler, and he'd rather give New York Mondami than save New York from Mondami. Laura Ingraham apparently has joined the board of a Don Jr. company. It's a venture capital company. Some people are worked up about it. I say good for both of them. And the United States Supreme Court is allowing Trump to put in the National Guard in Portland and save the day. Chip Roy, you know what? I 1,000% agree. Chip Roy says he thinks it's time to do the nuclear option on the shutdown, just like they did with the Trump appointments. I agree with you, Chip. Nobody's girl. This is the very sad story told, and it's coming out as she's died, of Guthrie, the victim of Epstein and Prince Andrew. And guess what? It doesn't implicate Trump. In fact, she says Trump was very nice to her when she met him at Mar-a-Lago. Even asked her to babysit his kids. Musk has got 2/3 of the 10,000 Starlink satellites. And you know what I always say about that? Good, because Elon Musk's a good man. Jeffries and the Dems rejected another vote. They voted just to pay federal workers, military and federal workers. They still voted against it. The U.S. Supreme Court is going to take up a case relative to whether people that smoke pot regularly should own guns. I laughed at myself. Like, all these decades, 250 years of this country, people have been drinking alcohol and owning guns. What's the difference with pot?
You gotta grab a gun. We gotta turn around the guns on this fascist system. These ICE agents gotta get shot and wiped out. The state machinery, that's a full display right there, has to get wiped out.
Do you believe that? That guy has now been either arrested, charged, or getting to talk to. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. None. World news. An Australian deal for mineral rights has been struck with President Trump in Australia. And during it, the Australian ambassador, apparently who hates Trump, Trump says, well, I don't like you either. Caused a little bit of a downer on the ceremony. And Bolivia has elected a right-winger, Rodriguez Paz, and he says he will reopen up normal relations with the United States. Hasn't been there for a couple decades. China fired a trade negotiator after Scott Bessent said he was unhinged. Prince Andrew has paid no rent for the mansion. Why does Prince Andrew need to live in a place like this? Why not get a 3-bedroom apartment? And Donald Trump says that he might start purchasing Argentina beef to bring down beef prices. Whatever it takes, Mr. President. Pop culture. Jimmy Kimmel reruns all this week. I wonder why. His ratings are in the tank again. And a sad story, an Alabama father and his 2 beautiful daughters died in a plane crash in Montana. Folks, every time I see one of these plane crashes, I'm like, why do people fly these planes? Sports Without Boundaries. The Blue Jays beat the Mariners 4-3 last night. The Mariners, Dan Wilson, the manager, 2 guys on, 1 out, and he chose to pitch to Springer, who hit a 3-run homer to win the game. Why they didn't walk Springer, I will never know. Lions 24, Bucks 9, Seahawks 37, Texas 19. Jack Nicklaus has won a $50 million defamation lawsuit against a company using his name. In history today, big day in world history. The Navy Battle of Trafalgar was won by the British against a Spanish and French fleet. This battle off the coast of Spain, in the Cape of Trafalgar, led to British domination of the seas for 100 years. And guess what? Lord Nelson died in that battle, the one-armed admiral himself. He got up on the top deck with his all his uniform and everything, and he got shot by a sniper. He died from his wounds and was immortalized. And at Trafalgar Square in London, he sits way up top, perched. The Battle of Trafalgar. Shakespeare insult today, do not be a swag belly, perfidious scut. I love that line. Do not be a swag belly, perfidious scut. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. Have a great day.